Sorry. Morgan. So, what the? You're saying, man? Observation is a superpower. All right. So, the Secret Services, they need people who are great at observing. When a company needs a manager that is improving processes and the output of the company, they don't need people who are super specialized in methods of optimizing processes, because that's what they often do. Is the manager asks, what method do you use? Okay, we use this method. Okay, we make a change, we use this method now. So they change out methods, and this is just so they get money for doing something, for the sake of doing something. They just shake up the whole place. But what you really need is observers. Okay, observers, people who really see what is happening. This means not people who look through their glasses looking for something, for a pattern that they will find because they are focused on this pattern, and then they already know what they will do. In other words, nothing new will happen. They already know what they look for, and they will find it, and then they will change it with something that they also already know. And this is not innovation, this is the same process. It's a rigid pattern, and it is nothing new under the sun. But a real observer sees what's really happening, sees subtle tendencies in the company, amongst the people, what's really happening behind the scenes, and behind the scenes, what's really moving the people, what's really the problem. This is an observer, okay? Seeing through it. And Nietzsche was a great observer, and there's parts of his philosophy where he is only observing, not judging, not diagnosing. This is why this is, by the way, the will to power is not a philosophy that Nietzsche created in his mind. He did not have a prejudice. He did not have a creation of his individual drive himself. So this is what Nietzsche exposes in most philosophers. Most philosophers have an ego idea based on subconscious judgments they make about the world, and then they just do everything they can to prove their prejudice. In other words, they create a world around a wrong assumption. And because they're so crafty, they manage to do this. But what Nietzsche does in parts of his philosophy is observing, free of prejudices, and just describing what he sees. And the will to power is this. This is why Nietzsche was so influential and is the father of many thinkers and even scientific disciplines like psychology. I already said he's a proto-psychologist. All right. Now, Nietzsche also has philosophies that are creative, that take his own observations and experiences and form something out of it, like the eternal recurrence, amor fati, the Übermensch. These are creations or directions or ideas that he creates from his observations. But his observation means he simply connects dots and recognizes patterns in what he is observing. And this is also why he's not singling out or diagnosing and says, the pure will to power is a psychopath. It comes in these connections of traits that the people in power often have, and so on. He is not looking for that. He is just observing and describing it. Okay? Yeah. That's interesting, right? That's very interesting. So I always admired good observers because more often than not we walk around with the same glasses on, with a prejudice, or we are self-absorbed, or we're not really, for some reason, not spending enough attention to the real details. And it's a superpower when people suddenly realize small changes in your face or on your car or wherever, and you think like, wow, why is this person not walking around with this comfortable setting in the brain on? The car is just a car, the face is just a face, this is just this. So you have a prejudice of what it is, and you see it as that, and you don't spend time on details of really looking at it. Is it really a car? Is it really a face? You look for details, for subtle changes, all right? And this is what a good observer does. A good observer is not distracted by narrations, by pretension, by that what people want to create. They want to create a certain image. They want to wear a certain thing. They want to drive a certain car. They want to do, a good observer senses subtle differences that others rather repress, to not, there's different reasons why we repress certain disturbances. Our brain is always filtering out things. We try to even evade uncomfortable feelings. We try not to, we just try to get through the situation quickly. But a good observer takes the time, and whenever it is uncomfortable, they especially then they take more time and look very, very, very patient and slowly. So it's the awkward moments, it's the blinking of the eyes, it's the flickering, it's the small change, it's the slight uncanny feeling where you need to lock in real strong and look even deeper. All right, the uncomfortable feeling, that's where you need to look really deeply. But an observer is also not in the foreground. He has to take himself back and be kind of not invasive, not penetrative, not disturbing the process. By the way, good, real spies, real agents learn to not stare at their target, and good hunters also. A good hunter does not stare at his target, especially not in the area of the neck, because people can sense it. Okay, there is a theory, and a hunter knows this. Hunters, practitioners know it. If you stare at a person, if you try to focus completely in and you look at a person directly, especially in their back, they might feel it. All right. So when you're hunting an animal, or when you want to get close to an animal, what you do is you look next to it so that it is just in your peripheral vision, and you're relaxed. You're not like in super tension, like you want to jump on it in the next second. No, you're relaxed. You look next to it. You're not so interested. You're not even so focused on it. You just try to put just a small amount of your consciousness on this animal, because they sense another consciousness summoning it, right? Mirroring it. So that being said, let's go to work now. Wish you good